I have been waiting for this day for a long time.
At least for 2 or 3, a couple of years.
Yeah, it's long overdue, frankly. So, there's this dish, or maybe I should kind of say type of dish.
Idea, approach.
Concept, technique almost. Basically, there's this food that Eva and I, in just our normal personal lives, eat all the time. And I mean all the time, to the point where I know for sure that it is the dish that you and I have eaten together the most since we've met each other. We finally decided it was time to share this, I hesitate to call it a recipe.
Concept.
Because it is the perfect blend of being very healthy, very easy.
Very good.
And yes, very, very good. To the point where, frankly, when you're eating it, it feels like you're eating something that shouldn't be as healthy as it is. How would you define this concept?
It's a vegetable flatbread.
Yeah, it's a vegetable flatbread, but hang on before you click away, because that doesn't sound very exciting. But this kind is very unique because whereas most vegetable flatbreads are flatbreads plus some vegetables, this is vegetables
with some flatbread.
Plus some flatbread.
We use most vegetable and a little bit of flour. The flour works just like a glue. The words can't describe what it is. So it's better if we make it.
Okay, let's go. So first of all, how does it feel to be in your new kitchen?
Wonderful. I love it. Today we are going to show you different variation of this vegetable flatbread. This one in particularly is the one that Harper and I eat the most, so it's very close to my heart. The ingredients for this one are very simple ingredients. So we start with zucchini, and as you can see, just an onion. What you need to do is slice the zucchini very, very thin. Same thing we need to do with the onion. So I'm going to use the trifecta onion because this is what I have here. If you don't have them, you can use another onion that you like. Golden, red, white, it doesn't really matter. We salt the zucchini and the onion so they can release the water. We put also some black pepper. We mix it. And now we need to wait until zucchini and onion release the water, which means at least half an hour, 45 minutes.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
This is the water that zucchini and onion released with the salt. And this will be the water that we are going to use to make our dough.
So you don't want to drain that?
No, absolutely. I'm going to add also a little bit of basil, a little bit of olive oil. We are going to use 0 flour. How much flour I'm going to use? This depends on how much water our zucchini and onion released. I'm going to start with 200 grams of flour. I'm starting with this, but keep in mind that maybe you need to adjust some salt because otherwise it doesn't taste. And we can just mix with the spatula until all comes together.
It's so little flour, it almost looks like you're just breading some zucchini to like fry them or something.
You understand how this bread, focaccia, call it whatever you want, is mostly vegetables.
So really you just want to add enough flour to soak up the water and create kind of a glue to hold it all together.
Yes, Harper. So we pour a little bit of olive oil in the pan. With your hands, you spread the olive oil. And now we pour our zucchini dough.
Dough, yeah, kind of.
Into
kind of a dough.
It's kind of a dough. And we spread with a spatula, what we call in Italy marisa.
Marisa?
Yes, we call with
Like
a
the name Marisa?
See,
Why do you call it Marisa?
I don't know why we call it Marisa. Maybe because there was a Marisa who used it a lot or invented, I don't know.
You have to use spatulas a lot to have them be named after you.
It doesn't really matter how big your baking sheet is, because what can happen is that your flatbread would be a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner. If it's thinner, it will be a little bit more crunchy. If it's thicker, it will be a little bit more soft. We drizzle a little bit of olive oil, and now we bake it at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around, I forget Fahrenheit.
I'll put a title, don't worry.
For about 40-45 minutes.
Yep. I'm very happy right now, as I am every time you cook this, which is very often.
Usually at least once or twice a week.
At least.
The name of this dish is scarpaccia. It was made by the poor people, the farmers back in the past in Tuscany, where what they had was zucchini flowers, and a little bit of flour. So they put everything together and bake it like we did.
It's really hard to describe what this is until you try it.
Because you can think, okay, zucchini and onion and some flour, but all together actually they express a flavor that you can't imagine.
It is so much bigger than the sum of its parts. It doesn't taste just like zucchini. It doesn't taste just like onion. It doesn't taste just like bread. Something magical happens here.
I know. And we didn't have the zucchini flour. If you are so lucky to have them, you can add. And maybe it's even better because we had ones with the zucchini flour. Perfect.
It was actually 2 days ago. It was my first time having it, because now that we're here and you can get a big bag of zucchini flowers for nothing, it was sliced zucchini plus zucchini flowers.
It was
unbelievable.
Good.
All right, shall we?
Absolutely.
Buon appetito. I love it so much.
I don't know how to describe the taste.
I know, it's really hard. It almost tastes kind of cheesy, even though it's not at all. Like, there's no cheese whatsoever in it.
It's something that you need to make in order to understand. And actually, this is also a good recipe to clean your fridge when you have vegetables that you don't know what to do with. Do this.
Yeah, it's very rare that Eva will make the same kind twice. Like, usually she just uses, everything from summer squash to grated carrots, just anything you have almost.
And also you can season it a different way. Sometimes I use paprika, sometimes I use chili pepper, sometimes I had some sesame seeds, oregano, thyme. Wherever you have, you can add also a little bit of tomato paste.
I'm trying to think if there's like any vegetable that I haven't seen you make into a scarpaccia.
Yes, Harper. There is one.
Do you want to try that next?
I can't wait, Harper.
Okay, but first, a quick word about today's video sponsor. Have you ever tried to learn a language before? It's a goal that a lot of us have, and if you're anything like me, you've tried a bazillion different methods and learning programs, and none of them are as good as actually being surrounded by the language you're trying to learn. I'm very lucky, I live here in Italy, I'm constantly exposed to it. And so I get to hear native speakers talk, I get to hear their slang, the common cultural phrases that you maybe won't find in a textbook. Language learning experts will tell you that if you can't live in the foreign country, the next best way to learn a foreign language is to consume media in that language. Yes, that means watching TV. And that's why we recommend LingoPie to everyone who's trying to learn a new language. LingoPie is like the Netflix of language learning. In 13 different languages, LingoPie has a huge collection of over 3,000 TV shows and movies. These aren't just programs that you watch with, foreign subtitles or dubs over them. They're real movies and TV shows made in that language. So for instance, I'm trying to improve my Italian. I watch Italian TV shows and movies on LingoPie. It can be difficult to track down foreign media in your home country. So having just this huge collection where you can just go on your TV, pick what you want to watch, plus you get all these interactive features, incredible tools in the subtitles to learn new phrases, new words, practice them with flashcards. You can change the speed, which is very helpful for me. Italians tend to talk really fast, and sometimes I need to slow it down to understand what they're saying. And the best part is, it's not a chore, because you're watching TV. If you've always wanted to learn a new language but want to do it the fun way, check out LingoPie. You can try it for free today by clicking the link down in the description below. Big thank you to LingoPie for sponsoring today's video. Ah, I see. Potato flatbread.
We're starting with peeling the potatoes. Now, if you want, you can slice the potatoes like we did with the zucchini. In this case, I prefer to grate them. We need salt, black pepper, a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to use rosemary because potatoes and rosemary is like tomatoes and basil. Here I have 100 grams of 00 flour or all-purpose flour. Now it depends on how much water your potatoes have. Also because we are going to add a little bit of water in order to have the right consistency. And with a spatula, we can mix.
Okay, now it's time to add the speck.
Actually,
That would be so good.
actually, you could use, could add the speck, you could add some cheese, you could add a lot of other things here.
Anyone who saw our previous video knows what I'm talking about.
So the consistency is exactly this. So it needs to be a spreadable dough. We bake this at 200 degrees Celsius for about 30-35 minutes. It depends always from your oven.
Potato scarpaccia.
So carbs on carbs.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I'm sure what will attract a lot of people to this bread is like, ooh, I can make a bread with fewer carbs. This is for carb lovers like us.
At the end, also potatoes is a vegetable, so I don't understand why people are against potatoes.
This smells amazing. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with
Potatoes
and
and flour.
rosemary. Buon
Buon
appetito.
appetito.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's in between French fries and baked potatoes.
I was also gonna say potato chips because it gets kind of crispy.
That's so good.
Yeah, the edges that
Speaking
get
of
crispy.
crispy.
Yeah, it is like a potato chip. It's an interesting point too, though, how you can either slice the vegetables or grate them because it does have a really big impact on the final
texture.
Yeah, exactly. And so with any of the vegetables, if you choose to grate them, you'll have a more kind of even dough.
See, it's like when you slice something, some part will be thicker and more soft, some part will be crunchier. When you do like that, more or less, it's all the same. It's addicting.
It's really addicting. Also, maybe it's not based on anything at all, but just in my mind, this feels very Tuscan to me, the rosemary and the pepper and
Yes,
stuff.
because everyone thinks that the rosemary is just in Tuscany. Actually, no. Actually, rosemary is all over Italy.
Speaking, though, of the Tuscan origins of scarpaccia, it is worth pointing out that other regions in Italy do similar things. It's not just Tuscany. In fact, what introduced me to this concept of these vegetable flatbreads was a video we did years ago, and there was a flatbread kind of like this, and I loved it so much. That's when Ava was like, you need to try scarpaccia.
And speaking of Sardinia, Sardinia actually has also another version of this kind of flatbread, but with a little twist. From Tuscany, now we go to Sardinia. And if you are a tomato lover, you will love this version because it is tomato based. What you need are very ripe tomatoes So please don't use the one that you find in the grocery store that usually are half green, half red. They don't taste like nothing. You need some tomatoes that actually they taste like tomatoes. And the only difference between the Tuscan version and the Sardinian version is that the Sardinian one uses a little bit of yeast. So we start by cutting the tomatoes, or maybe chopping the tomatoes, and it's very important that you preserve all the water that comes out from the tomatoes. Now we need to chop 2 cloves of garlic. You can chop the garlic, or if you have the garlic press, garlic masher, what do you call it?
I think garlic no, I don't remember. I think it's garlic press.
By the way, that tool that actually press the garlic, you can use also that. Personally, I don't like, because when you do something like that to the garlic will release all the strong taste. Everyone knows that basil.
Is that like a mixture of basil and parsley?
I was going to say that everyone knows that tomatoes go with basil. Use as much basil as you like.
Which in your case is a lot.
Now we need to salt the tomatoes. This will be the only salt that we are going to put in our dough. So
don't skimp.
No. We mix it, and actually the smell.
I was just about to say, yeah, tomatoes and basil, it's just...
We need to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. What we are going to do now is add the flours. I'm going to use 150 grams of semolina flour and 100 grams of 00 flour or all-purpose flour. 4 grams of dried yeast, and now we start to mix with our hands. The dough will be very, very sticky. Don't worry, this is the way in which it should be. And it's very important that when you knead your dough, you press the tomatoes so they can release more water. We cover it and we let it rise for about 3 hours.
3 hours later.
Ooh.
After 3 hours, should look like that. What we need to do now is take a pan, pour some olive oil. Very gentle because it's a very watery dough. Press. Now we cover with a towel and we will let it rise for another hour.
1 hour later.
So I'm going to bake this at 200 degrees Celsius for about 30-35 minutes.
Oh, the smells. The glorious smells.
Smells like summer.
It really does.
It smells like a very good and beautiful summer.
Okay, I'm very excited to try that.
So what you have in front of you, Harper, has a name, and it's called Sacostedda.
That's the most Sardinian name ever. What is it?
Sacostedda.
Okay.
And it's actually a sort of focaccia with tomatoes inside.
Well, it's funny because this looks so much more like bread than the scarpaccia.
Because it has yeast.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it really is still the same ratio of mostly vegetables, a relatively small amount of flour, but just look at the magic of yeast. It looks like bread.
This is your first Sacostedda.
Wow. Ooh, yeah, that is super soft. I can feel that. That looks amazing. Smells amazing. I bet it tastes amazing. Let's find out, shall we? Buon appetito. Beyond amazing.
People from Sardinia, they know what they do.
That's probably one of the best focaccia I've ever had in my life. And it's not even really focaccia because it's mostly tomatoes.
It's so full of flavor. Like the tomatoes inside give all this flavor.
It's so tomatoey. It's so. I've had various tomato breads and tomato focaccia and stuff. Wonderful, wonderful recipes. This is the one for tomato lovers. It is so tomatoey. It is so good.
This is the one for everyone who loves good food.
Why have you never made this for me before? Is this the new one? Is this the one we're gonna cook every week now? You wanna come try some of this? Try that. Oh my God. So we started this video with me wanting to show you guys this recipe that we eat at least once or twice a week, and I think we've discovered a new one that will be added to the menu.
So we will have for 2 hours a week the scarpaccia, for 2 hours a week this, once a week also the potatoes.
Yeah, we'll just alternate between the three.
And the good things about all of them is that they actually are pretty easy and fast to make.
Super easy.
Even this that has the yeast, you don't have to fold or wait. You just mix all together and leave there to rise.
Yeah, it's way easier than normal bread, and I would argue that if you serve this to most people, they'll be way more blown away than if you make like the perfect sourdough loaf of bread or something.
Absolutely, yes.
Because this is like a bomb.
Also, it's much easier than a focaccia, because then also the focaccia you need to fold.
Kind of like pizza, yeah.
It's like this, put all together, let it rise, and you will have an amazing result.
Speaking of focaccia, this pasta grammarian, Kylie, made a beautiful looking focaccia barese. That recipe you will find in our cookbook, The Italian Family Kitchen. Well done, Kylie. We challenge you to try this one next.
And send us photos because we want to see.
If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Ciao. I still don't know how to say the name of it, but...
Sacostedda.
Sacostedda?
See, it's easy.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It probably means...
Deliciousness.
Yeah, this is something really delicious. The deliciousness.
The deliciousness.
That's what I'm gonna call this. Ava, tonight can we have the deliciousness for dinner? And you'll know what I mean.